Again, Madam Mayor, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your time. Mrs. Papalouka, Education Attaché. I would like to thank the head teacher of the Greek school here at St. Demetrius, and of course our speakers. We're going to start first with Klenn, and then Klenn is the Assistant Director of Public Health at the London Borough of Enfield, and Melanie Parsons is a nutritionist or naturopathic, but you will hear all about due course. We have a session with Klenn, and then it will be followed by questions and answers, and then Melanie will take over with her presentation, again with questions, question time. Thank you all for coming, and we look forward to hearing from you, Klenn, because Enfield is among the top 5 boroughs which suffers from obesity, and I have a note here saying approximately 40% of year 6 pupils are over obese, and 64.8% of the whole population of adults over the age of 18 are obese. So with this in mind, the London Borough of Enfield is doing everything positive it can to reduce the number of obese, which leads to other medical complications. But over to you, Klenn.
Thanks very much then, everyone. As Councillor Sava says, my name is Klenn Stuart. I'm the Assistant Director of Public Health. I'll go through this presentation, then there's some questions at the end, but if you've got any really difficult questions, save them up for Melanie. Okay, hey, so we're talking about obesity in Enfield. I'm going to do something on physical activity, and Melanie will talk about food. Hey, so in terms of, does this sound okay? Can you hear okay? Yeah? Hey. So the national picture is outlined there, and those are the trends. So along the middle blue line is the population that's become obese. So in 1993, it's about 15% of people are obese. In 2013, it's about 25% obese. And also, you can see the red line at the top, the one that's dropping down. That's the people who are sort of normal weight. So you can see, from the red line going down, the people of normal weight, and the blue line going up, people who are obese. It's just a complete problem in society. So from about 93, we've had quite a problem. In fact, in 1996, the government set a target. It wanted to reduce the level of obesity to about 8% across the population. And as you can see, it's failed miserably. Okay, so in terms of what that means now, it's about 6 in 10 men are overweight or obese, so about 2/3 of men, so 6 in 10 men are overweight or obese, and 5 in 10 women are overweight or obese. So it's a problem. In fact, in terms of, if you think the normal is people who, most people are normal, well now most people are either overweight or obese. Okay. As Councillor Sava was saying before, it's also a problem that's showing in young people, people aged reception year and year 6. So every year it's called the National Childhood Measurement Programme. And in that survey, we take the weights of people aged 4 to 5 and pupils aged 10 to 11. Now, as you can see, for reception years children, it's about 1 in 5, overweight or obese. By the time they get to year 6, it's about 1 in 3. So even between reception year and year 6, you can see that the population is getting more overweight. Same thing's happening in Enfield. I'm not doing very well with this microwave, am I? Same thing's happening in Enfield. So the top red line there is overweight and obese in reception year in Enfield pupils. So it's about 25%. Last year we had a bit of a drop to, 23%, which is welcome. It's very, very welcome, but it still means that about 1 in 4 of reception year are overweight or obese. Similarly, but more worryingly, I suppose, by the time you get to year 6, it's about 4 in 10. And so, let's say, in sum, what that means is that people from an early age are becoming more and more overweight. And sorry, just to finish off a little bit around this, for adults, as Councillor Savoy was saying, about 40% of Enfield adults are overweight, about 26% are obese, so about 2/3 overweight or obese across Enfield population aged 18 plus. Right, so now we've established there's a problem, e.g. it's too much. Okay, so if we're accepting there's a problem of obesity in the population, there's probably only about there's probably maybe three things you could think that might be causing it. It's either physical activity or food. And some people say it's genes, but if you think back to, where's it gone? Think back to this graph here, that's from 1993. Genetically, things don't change that quickly. If genes change that quickly, I've done the wrong thing here. If our genes changed in 40 years, we'd have, I don't know, eyes growing out of our toes and ears on the sides of our arms or something. You know, the genetic explanation for obesity, I think, is really quite weak. So it really comes down to it's either physical activity or food. And as I say, I'm doing physical activity, Melaniny's doing food. All right, here's a question for you. What have all those got in common? All those things there are designed to take physical activity out of life. And that's what, I don't know. You think about presents people give each other, what you think about having, generally, physical activity has been taken out of life per se. So now we don't walk to the letterbox, we send an email. I don't shave, I use an electric shaver. People don't go up the stairs, they use an escalator. Lifts, when was the last time you went to a building and it was easy to find the stairs as opposed to the lifts? So you don't even have to clean your teeth anymore, you just got to stand there and let an electric toothbrush do it. And in virtually every aspect of life, physical activity has been reduced. So if physical activity has been reduced, the question from a health point of view is what? What difference does it make? Well, from a medical point of view, the effect of physical activity is just good for you. It's just whichever way around you look at it is good for you. So across a whole range of illnesses and diseases, physical activity has been shown to be good. And it's been broken down here into reductions in these diseases here. So for all-cause mortality, I know everyone dies. What's actually that's saying is that at any one point, people who are physically active are 20 to 40% less likely to die than people who are not physically active. So everyone will die, but if you're physically active, you're less likely than someone like you who's not physically active. And similarly, for all those diseases there, physical activity will reduce them by 20 to 40%. And those things there are what people suffer from in the population. Right. It then becomes how much physical activity is recommended. Now, there's a fair number of guidelines to this. For young people, e.g. 5 to 18, they recommend about an hour a day. For people aged 19 to 64, which I suppose is most of yourselves, they recommend 150 minutes a week or 2.5 hours of moderate physical activity. Moderate means that you can talk but probably can't sing, or 75 minutes of vigorous. Vigorous means you probably can't talk, you're out of breath. Also it talks about muscle strength and avoiding being sedentary, e.g. sitting around too much. And anyone aged over 65, again, they recommend as much physical activity as possible. If you can't do what's recommended, as much as possible, and they also recommend balance and coordination. Right, 150 minutes, it sounds like an awful lot. When I've spoken to people before, they said that's nigh on impossible. How can you possibly fit 150 minutes into, I'm busy, I've got loads of work to do, I've got kids to look after, da-di-da-di-da. So, I suppose there's probably, I could recommend you go and do, go and do physical activity. The point is, how do you actually do that? So I think there's a number of options, which are equally good for if that's what you choose, but just going to highlight some of the routes for you. Right. Does anyone recognise that? It's an iron, yeah. Right. Right. I found one of those in my garage actually. No. And if you get the chance, pick one up and just see how heavy it is. You know, and they are, you know, and then, because I probably need to get out a bit more, I started reading about them. And I was reading this thing and it was saying that, you know, the servant was saying that Tuesdays was ironing day. And they'd spend all day just moving that bit of metal around across an ironing board. In fact, they had two actually. They had one that was in the fire and one they were actually using. You know, and so, you know, around about the turn of the century, people were very physically active. They were doing manual labour all the time. Right? So we could, you know, Back to the Future, people may, well, you can if you want to, you know, you can go and get one of those irons and start ironing. The chances are most people aren't going to do that. You know, it's probably not going to happen. We could go for, I mean, I would recommend, and I've got nothing against it, and Enfield has got lots of opportunities for people to take up sport and leisure. The trouble is with sport is that there's a national survey of sport. There's only about 16% of adults do even half an hour of sport a week. You know, the recommendations are 150 minutes. So it doesn't. You know, after the Olympics, the 2012 Olympics, everyone was talking about the Olympic legacy and people taking up sport following it. It just really doesn't seem to have happened. People aren't really particularly, sport, I think, is something, if you're into sport, people will go and play sport, and good on you for doing it. If you're not into sport, you're probably not going to, and that's just the way it is. And then this leads on to what Enfield's actually working into, is how people get around. So it's generally referred to as active travel. And Enfield's, this is probably why public health in Enfield is so behind the Cycle Enfield and Mini Holland programme. That in places like Holland, 35% of journeys are mainly by walking, but by walking and cycling. And the point about things like Mini Holland is that it builds physical activity into what people are doing anyway. So, what now? So, does anyone know where that is? What did you say, sorry? Anyone know where that is? It's actually, it's Copenhagen. Yeah. It's just a photo. Right. In that photo, who's likely to meet the recommended levels of physical activity? Yeah. Right. So those people there are likely to meet their recommended levels of physical activity. Why? Yeah, cycling's exercise, but why are they likely to meet their physical activity guidelines?
They're cycling to work and cycling home.
Exactly. Right. And that's just it. So in terms of getting the population physically active, if you can get people, most people most days either go to the shops, go to school, or go to work. So if it's 15 minutes there and 15 minutes back, it's 30 minutes a day, 150 minutes a week. You're building physical activity into what you're doing anyway. It's probably the way to go forward. The other things about this, Croydon's not very well known as it's sort of for walking or cycling. But if Enfield had the same number of people being walking or cycling to work as Croydon does, we'd have another 10,000 people being physically active a day. So, just in terms of the numbers, it's probably, if you want physical activity, you probably need to think about, well, how you're going to build it into your everyday life, and if you're going to do that, I'd recommend travel. Right. From the academic point of view of this, what the academics say is that adults who cycle for, they call it utility purposes, are 4 times more likely to meet physical activity guidelines than those who don't. children who cycle to school are about 30% more likely to meet physical activity guidelines. And it's incredible, if you ever sort of wondered, when they've done surveys of this, about half the children want to cycle to school, and about 5% are able to. Right. And just finally, this is what the Chief Medical Officer for the country said. So he said, if being active was a pill, we'd be rushing to prescribe it. Physical activity is essential for health and reduces the risk of many preventable diseases and conditions, from cancer to depression. Yeah? So I suppose what I'm trying to say to you is that physical activity is very, very good for your health. If you want to do physical activity, think about building it into your everyday life. And good luck.
For that, can I call upon the Mayor to Councillor Patricia Ekechi to say a few words?
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, young boys and girls. Thank you for inviting me here again. I have been here once, I'm sure, twice, yes. So I'm really, really very delighted to be amongst you again. Now, as you all know, Leukara Association works closely with professional bodies in identifying what people should be aware of on health issues. And it is lovely to see so many of you here tonight and to learn more about this. As Klenn has spoken, and I'm sure everybody is going to take note, I'm taking note of what he has said. But I was going to ask him actually why men are more obese than women. But because I thought I've seen so many of us women who are more obese. But that's one thing that makes me happy now. It's not that I'm encouraging men to be more obese or asking women to be obese either. But the lesson we are learning here today will actually help all of us to know what to do, the kind of food we can eat, and the exercises so many of us should take up. Don't be lazy like me. I've paid to go to gyms, but ask me how many times I have been. So it is really very, very important for many of us here to take to exercises as much as you can, even if it's walking. Walking helps many of us to lose weight, and then the kind of things we eat also will help many of us to lose weight if you have added. And that will also encourage most of our children, because it's what they see us eat, that's what many of our children will also eat. And if you are not eating well, if you are not eating the right food, of course the children will go the same line. And that's why so many of us are, getting into being obese. So I'm really very happy that many of our children are here listening, and our parents who are here also, we take up all the important lessons we are learning here. Can I just say thank you very, very much to Councillor Sávva for arranging this every year, bringing the community. This is what Enfield need. I'm very happy that we have this in Enfield, and this is where we learn a lesson, how to get ourselves fit. So thank you all for everybody who has, put in this association you've been helping. Thank you for organizing this every year. And thank you for all you have done to, keep it going. And we're all now going to eat. So it's going to be healthy food, I understand. Thank you very much. Leave me alone. Let me finish talking.
Don't sit down. Hold on, stay here. Don't sit down. Don't sit down. Don't go away. Stay here. Madam Mayor, thank you for mentioning, but it's not about me. It's about the association and the volunteers who have worked very hard to organize this. I'm only a worker, a volunteer as well. And it is, Leukara Association is proud to associate itself with your good selves, with the officers and the council, and we're very supportive of your appointed, nominated charity, Dementia. And I would like to call upon our treasurer to present to you a small donation for your charity.
That's
okay.
Surprising. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Stay. Oh no, please stay there so I can take a photo. Nobody takes a photo. I don't take. Nobody will. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I know you are not the only one that organizes this. So I'm greeting everybody who has made today very special. When I say everybody, it includes everybody in the association, all the volunteers, all the officers, and members who have taken their time to be here. Thank you all very much.
As Madam Mayor said, if you'd like to help yourselves to food, you can do so during the presentation. We have plenty of time at the end as well. But without any further ado, please, Melanie.
And it builds up in our bodies, adding to the problem of obesity. So we want to avoid these unhealthy fats wherever we can. And this big one, which I was pleased this young lady mentioned, was the sugar. Now, sugar's huge, and there's loads of studies out there today that are saying that this sugar is really closely linked with obesity. And one of the main reasons for that is sugar. Sugar is, your body needs sugar for energy, but we have way too much of it, especially if we're eating these kind of foods. And when your body has too much sugar, it thinks, okay, well, I've used a bit of it, but I'll hang on to the rest and save it for when I might be starving. So it saves it, and it turns it into fat. But it's keeping it there just in case at some point we're starving. But the problem is today, we're never really starving, because then we just keep eating more food, and we don't have these periods of starvation that cavemen and years and years ago we did. So this sugar just gets stored as fat, and then it keeps getting stored, and then we end up with this problem. And I've also put refined carbohydrates on there because I don't think people understand that something like white bread turns to sugar the minute you've put it in your mouth. It's sugar. So white bread, white pasta, all that kind of stuff, you've got to count that as sugar because it is. And if we're eating it and then we're not burning it off, it's getting stored immediately for a rainy day, and that rainy day of starvation is never coming, so it's just getting stored. So it's dangerous stuff. And then the last bit is nutrient poor. So these foods don't have many nutrients in them, and nutrients are what we really, really need. So we're not getting what we need from this at all. So I'm just going to zoom in on that nutrient bit for a minute. So what are nutrients? Do any of you lovely young people know what nutrients are? If I said nutrients? Stuff you need? Any idea? Lovely, yes, vitamins, minerals. So I've listed a few here. Oh, I've put a little definition first. It's a substance that provides nourishment essential for the maintenance of life and growth. It's what we need. It's what every organ of our body needs to work. It's what our skin needs, everything. Our body wouldn't work without these nutrients. And there's just a few of them in case you didn't know what they are. Some common ones you might have heard of: vitamin C, that's a popular one. Calcium, you've probably heard of that one. Magnesium. These are vitamins and they're minerals, and you find them in loads of food, but not in the McDonald's, and not in the KFC, and not in those lovely donuts. Yeah. So, we need these. Why do we need them? So, a healthy body, for every function of the body to work, it needs these vitamins, these minerals. They're really, really important. So your brain, want to be clever? Your brain, you need omega-3s, comes from salmon. You need magnesium, chickpeas. You need B vitamins, brown rice. You need these things. A healthy heart, you've got to have vitamin E, vitamin K, magnesium, omega-3. You've got loads of stuff you need there. For nice, clear skin, you need vitamin A, vitamin K, iron. So you need all these things. So what happens if we're not getting enough of them? Well, so you eat your McDonald's, you eat your KFC, and you're full. And you're full of trans fats, you're full of sugar, you're full of refined carbohydrates, and you're full. but actually your body's saying, I didn't get anything, I didn't get any vitamin C, I didn't get any iron, didn't get anything. So it's going to say, eat some more, please. So you eat some more rubbish, and your body still says, I still need more. So you keep eating. But you're not ever filling those nutrient stores up. So your body's going to keep telling you it needs more. And if you keep this vicious cycle going, that's where you end up. Overweight, obese, unhealthy, heart disease, all sorts of problems. And it really is just a cascade. So, before I move on to what positive things we can do, I'm quickly going to just address how we eat today. Because these are two things. As in clinic, I see people coming in all the time, and you talk about, so tell me, how do you eat? How do you know? And you hear, we're busy today. We all move quite quickly. And so the food, people are grabbing food on the run all the time. It's typical. A sandwich, a packet of crisps, and a chocolate bar for lunch. All refined carbohydrates, too much sugar, no nutrients. And that's how people are living. And they're just eating on the run, grabbing whatever they can last minute. And then the other contributing factor is mindless eating. Very easy to eat an entire big bag of sugared popcorn in front of a movie. And that's a huge amount of refined. You know, because you eat way more when you're not thinking about it. So, some tips. What positive changes can we make? So, number one is my big thing. Let's eat whole foods. And I'm just going to clarify what whole foods are, just for some of our younger people as well, because some people think, oh, a whole pizza, that's a whole food, right? So, whole foods, what do I mean? So, a little quiz for my little people here. Whole foods. Do you think that's a whole food? Yes? No? Yes, good. Do you think that's a whole food? It's a whole muffin. Is it? Why is it not a whole food? Go on. It's got sugar in it. Good. Any other reasons? Because it's not healthy. Okay. Any other ideas as to why that's not a whole food? Go on.
Because it has chocolate spots on it.
It has chocolate spots. Good. Yeah.
It's
It's processed. That's a good answer as well. Thank you. Yes. So, whole foods. They mean how they've grown from the earth. Did Mother Nature make it? Because I don't think she made that. And that's got all sorts of sugar, refined flour, it's got all sorts of other agents that make it look pretty and glossy on the top and all of that. So no, that's not a whole food. So we'll go through a few more. Is that a whole food? No, refined. That's refined carbohydrates, you've got bad fats, you've got processed meats. How about that? Yes, good. Full of calcium and vitamins and minerals, all sorts. What about, this is an interesting one. What do you think about this one? Yeah, and? Is that a whole food? Yes, no? Yeah, no? No, it's not. And I even made sure I put a wholemeal one up there, because people go, wholemeal, it's better. Still turns into sugar the minute you put it in your mouth. And bread these days is so highly processed and full of all sorts. In fact, some white breads even contain bleach. It's just terrible. They go through so many processes now that they really aren't very nutritious at all. So either choose your bread very carefully or avoid it altogether. Fruits. Yes. They are whole food. We do need to use them sparingly though, because they are very high in sugar. So 1, maybe 2 portions a day. But fruits are very, very good. And they do have sugar, but they do also have a lot of those nutrients and vitamins and minerals that we need. So they're definitely on the good list. How about this stuff? No. Again, you've got refined carbohydrates and lots of bad fats and the sugar. Tomato sauce has a lot of sugar in it. And this one, brown rice, lovely, full of B vitamins and lots of minerals, very good for you. And these, lovely, lots of lentils, beans, pulses, all very, very good stuff, full of nutrients for you. So that's my first piece of advice. Let's eat whole foods. Let's eat food as Mother Nature created it for us. Number 2, let's eat a wide variety of colour. So could you put a stir fry together like that and some nice coconut oil? Lovely. You've got loads of vitamins, loads of minerals. You're ticking loads of boxes there. Salads are a great thing. Not as great in the winter because you want something warming, but soups, anything like that. Absolutely wonderful. Let's ditch the sugar. Let's really ditch that sugar. It plays no role. It does nothing good for us. And these are some lifestyle ones now. So let's prepare food at home. It's very easy to go and buy the Dolmio sauces. They've got lots of sugar in them. Could you make a tomato sauce from home? Could you make it from using fresh vegetables? I think you probably could, even if you just did it most of the time. So let's prepare food at home. Let's teach our children about nutritious food. This one I'm really passionate about because some children don't even recognise vegetables and it's such a shame. So let's get our kids in the kitchen, let's get them cooking with us, let's get them preparing food, let's get them excited because real food is delicious. If you come up with some good recipes and try out some stuff, it really is wonderful and it makes you feel good too. So, and let's eat at the table together. Let's stop eating in front of the TV. Let's sit, let's have a meal together and let's really make a big deal about food because it's good. And let's eat mindfully, okay? Let's think about what we're eating. Let's put time into our food. Let's prepare it with love. Let's eat it together. So those are my tips, just in case you missed any of them. Let's eat whole foods. Let's eat a wide variety of colours. Let's avoid that sugar and processed rubbish. Let's prepare food at home. Let's teach our children about food. Let's eat together and let's eat mindfully. And that's it from me, if anyone has any questions.
Κυρία Άρτεμις, υπήρξατε πρόεδρος Φιλανθρωπικού Συλλόγου, οπότε ξέρετε για σήμερα την εκδήλωση τι ετοιμασίες γίνανε για αυτό το σεμινάριο για την υγιεινή διατροφή. Τι λοιπόν παρουσιάστηκε σήμερα με βάση αυτό το σεμινάριο, τι ετοίμασαν οι γυναίκες?
Οι κυρίες, πρώτα απ' όλα θα ήθελα να τις συγχαρώ πάρα πολύ για αυτή την προσπάθεια να διαφωτίσουν τον κόσμο τι σημαίνει βάρος, obesity όπως λέμε στα αγγλικά. Και συγχαίρω τον Σύνδεσμο Λευκαριτών και σήμερα είμαι καλεσμένη εδώ. Μεγάλη προσπάθεια, όλες οι κυρίες έχουν ετοιμάσει όλα αυτά τα υγιεινά που βλέπετε εδώ και από ό,τι βλέπω όλοι τα διασκεδάσαμε, διότι πράγματι είναι και ευζιαστά αλλά και πολύ χρήσιμα για τη διατροφή μας. Δηλαδή αποφύγαμε το ψωμί, αποφύγαμε πάρα πολλά πράγματα εδώ. Και όπως είπε και η κυρία που έχει μιλήσει, η διαιτολόγος, σήμερα μας έχει διαφωτίσει για αυτά τα προβλήματα που νομίζω ξεκινούν από την μικρή ηλικία, από ό,τι έχω καταλάβει. Και από ό,τι είδατε κι εσείς, τα παιδιά μου φάνηκαν πάρα πολύ έξυπνα και απαντήσαν τις ερωτήσεις, που σημαίνει καταλαβαίνουν και αρχίσαν να μπαίνουν μέσα σε αυτό το πνεύμα, να είναι πιο προσεκτικοί στη διατροφή τους.
Εσείς τι συγκρατήσατε σήμερα, ποιες τροφές πρέπει να αποφεύγουμε?
Οπωσδήποτε όλα τα fast foods, δηλαδή τα processed foods, δεν ξέρω ακριβώς τα ελληνικά πώς τα λένε, σαν το McDonald's, σαν τις πίτσες, όλα αυτά τα οποία και αν προσπαθήσουμε στο σπίτι μας και οι νεαρές κυρίες τώρα που παντρεύονται, οι νεαρές κοπέλες οι οποίες αρχίζουν την οικογένειά τους, να μπορούν να προσφέρουν στα παιδιά τους περισσότερα λαχανικά σαν καρότα, μπρόκολι, αυτά τα είδος. Σιγά σιγά τα παιδιά θα συνηθίσουν. Εγώ πιστεύω ότι είναι όλα μία συνήθεια και τίποτε άλλο. Και αν συνηθίσουμε στην καλή διατροφή και την υγιεινή διατροφή, εγώ νομίζω ότι θα έχουμε καλύτερα αποτελέσματα, διότι η υγεία μας χρειάζεται όλα αυτά για να είμαστε πιο υγιείς, όπως είπαν η υγιεινή διατροφή και επίσης που μίλησε ο προηγούμενος ομιλητής για exercise, δηλαδή να περπατάμε, όποιοι μπορούν φυσικά να ποδηλατούν, όποιοι μπορούν να κάνουν keep fit classes, αυτά. Αλλά έστω και λίγο περπάτημα, εγώ πιστεύω ότι έστω και 15-20 λεπτά την ημέρα περπάτημα να κάνουμε, θα μας ωφελέσει όλους. Καλό μας κάνει και όχι κακό.
Εσείς έχετε μικρά μέλη στην οικογένειά σας, φροντίζουν τη διατροφή του?
Όχι, δυστυχώς εμένα η κόρη μου έχει παντρευτεί. Όχι, δυστυχώς, μακάρι να είναι καλά, είναι στην Κύπρο. Έχει παντρευτεί στην Κύπρο και τα εγγονάκια μου είναι στην Κύπρο. Αλλά η κόρη μου πράγματι τους έχει πολύ καλή διατροφή. Όλα τα vegetables, όλα τα ψαρικά, αυτά, υγιεινή διατροφή. Τους έχει μάθει από μικρούς.
Να δώσουμε ένα μήνυμα λοιπόν και μια ευχή να προσπαθήσουμε όλοι να τρεφόμαστε σωστά.
Να προσπαθήσουμε το μήνυμα από όλους μας εδώ και είναι ένα πολύ ευχάριστο βράδυ απόψε και ευχαριστούμε πάλι το Σύνδεσμο Λευκαριτών και τους συγχαίρομαι για την πρωτοβουλία αυτή. Να προσπαθήσουμε να κόψουμε κάτι το οποίο είναι κακό μέσα στη διατροφή μας. Έστω και λίγο σιγά σιγά θα μας βοηθήσει όλους.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ.
Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Καλησπέρα σας. Ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για αυτήν την σημερινή εκδήλωση. Είσαστε ο πρόεδρος του Συλλόγου Λευκαριτών και διοργανώσατε σήμερα μια φοβερή παρουσίαση με θέμα την υγιεινή διατροφή. Τι είδαμε λοιπόν σήμερα εδώ?
Καλησπέρα, καλό νέο έτος. Ναι, ήταν μια προσπάθεια συνεργασία με το Δημαρχείο του Enfield και το Leukara Association για να ενημερώσουμε τον κόσμο γύρω από την πασχισαρκία, τι πρέπει να αποφεύγει, και όπως είδατε εδώ, όπως θα έχετε δείξει στο κανάλι σας, ότι μερικά outlets που λέμε στα αγγλικά είναι βλαβερά, όπως το McDonald's, χάρη και πολλά άλλα, και είναι ένας μεγάλος αγώνας πώς να εκπαιδευτούν και οι νέοι αλλά και οι μεγάλοι να αποφεύγουν βλαβερά φαγητά. Το στο Δημαρχείο του Enfield, πάλι όπως έχουμε ακούσει, υπάρχει ένα μεγάλο μάστιγα πασχισαρκίας μεταξύ των νέων και των μεγάλων, και το Δημαρχείο του Enfield κάνει ό,τι μπορεί, και αναγνωρίζοντας αυτόν ο σύνδεσμος πάντοτε ζητά θέματα που είναι καυτά για την κοινωνία, για όλη την οικογένεια, όπως είχαμε προηγουμένως τα ναρκωτικά, εγκυμοσύνη, εφηβική εγκυμοσύνη.
Κάποιες από τις εκδηλώσεις που είχατε φιλοξενήσει.
Είναι όλα γύρω από την κοινωνικά θέματα που θα βελτιώσει τη ζωή κάθε ανθρώπου που ζει όχι μόνο στο Δημαρχείο του Enfield αλλά και παντού και σε άλλα μέρη. Ναι.
Ήταν μεγάλη συμμετοχή του κοινού και των μικρών παιδιών. Πώς σας φάνηκαν οι απαντήσεις και η συμμετοχή τους σε ερωτήσεις της Melaniy σήμερα σχετικά με τη διατροφή? Ήταν, νομίζετε, έτοιμα για να δεχτούν την υγιεινή διατροφή?
Μίλησα σε κάποιον συνάδελφο όταν καθόμουν, όταν τα παιδιά ανταποκρίνονταν στις ερωτήσεις, και του λέω είναι πολλά έξυπνα αυτά τα παιδιά και υπάρχει μέλλον, υπάρχει a ray of hope, λέμε, ότι η νέα γενεά θα ακολουθήσει μια πιο υγιεινή διατροφή, μια υγιεινή τακτική, και όπως είπε και ο Klenn, eat less, να τρώμε λιγότερα και να κάνουμε περισσότερη άσκηση, περισσότερο περπάτημα, και έχουμε και αυτόν το Cycle Enfield, το οποίο έχουμε να πάρει σάρκα και οστά για να βελτιωθεί και η ατμόσφαιρα, πιο καθαρή ατμόσφαιρα, και θα θαρρύνει περισσότερους που φοβούνται να ποδηλατήσουν. Θα είναι ένα περιβάλλον που ο ποδηλατιστής μπορεί να ταξιδεύσει χωρίς το φόβο να τρέξει σε κάποιο δυστύχημα.
Θα θέλαμε να μας μιλήσετε λίγο για τους συνεργάτες σας που σήμερα παρουσιάσανε όλη αυτή την καλή δουλειά. Ποιοι είναι?
Οι συνεργάτες, οι εννοείς του Λευκαριτών. Τους ευχαριστώ, τους υπερευχαριστώ, έχουν δουλέψει πολύ αρκετά σκληρά, με ζήλον, και είναι η Τούλα Βαρναβίδου, η Άννα Κουνή, η Άννα Θεοδούλου, η Όλγα Πανταζή. Όλοι είναι αυτοί οι εθελοντές, οι αφανείς ήρωες που υπάρχουν σε κάθε σύνδεσμο, σε κάθε οργάνωση, που στα παρασκήνια εργάζονται χωρίς να φαίνονται ότι έκαναν αυτή τη δουλειά, και τους ευχαριστώ, διότι είμαι και εγώ περήφανος που υπάρχουν, όπως το ξαναείπα, που έχω τέτοιους συνεργάτες, τέτοιους ειδικούς, professional, και ο Βαρνάβας, ο Βαρναβίδης είναι ένας professional accountant. Ποιους άλλους να αναφέρω? Την Άννα, την Άννα Γκουνή, την Άννα Θεοδούλου. Υπάρχουν τόσοι πολλοί, δεν θέλω να φύγω κανέναν πίσω. Τη Hellenic Loizou, το Clir Loizou, και η Melaniy είναι νύφη της Hellenic και του Clir Loizou. Αυτοί μας έφεραν την Melaniy, η οποία είχε κάνει καλή δουλειά, και ο Klenn, ο assistant director. Θα συνεχίσει ο σύνδεσμος με οποιονδήποτε τρόπο μπορεί να ενημερώνει, να προωθεί θέματα που θέλουν κάποια πρόθεση, κάποια εκπαίδευση μεταξύ των νέων και των μικρών.
Στο σεμινάριο σήμερα είχαμε την τιμή να έχουμε και την δήμαρχο του Enfield, η οποία είναι και πολύ ευαισθητοποιημένη σε θέματα υγείας, από ό,τι ξέρω.
Μην ξεχνάς ότι όταν ήρθε στα δημόσια πριν 8 χρόνια, είχε δουλέψει μαζί μου στο ίδιο έδρα που αντιπροσωπεύω εγώ. Έτσι, δεν θέλω να πω πολλά πράγματα, αλλά πάει προς την καλή διεύθυνση. Τώρα το θέμα της είναι dementia awareness, το οποίο είχαμε αγγίξει παλαιότερα ως σύνδεσμος και ήταν μεγάλη μας τιμή που είχαμε και τη Δήμαρχο και την
την επιθεωρήτρια της εκπαιδευτικής αποστολής.
Και άλλοι που ήρθαν όχι μόνο από το Enfield αλλά και από γειτονικά δημαρχία και είδατε την προσέλευση, είδατε τον ενθουσιασμό, τις ερωτήσεις, τις απαντήσεις. Αυτό είναι το τι μας ευχαριστεί, μπράβο, δεν είναι τα χρήματα. Είναι να δούμε τον κόσμο να εκπαιδεύεται, να συμμετέχει σε τέτοιες εκδηλώσεις που είχαμε κάνει αρκετή δουλειά και μέσω του Χελένη και διαφήμιση μέσω. Καλά, δίδαμε φυλάδια και εδώ στην εκκλησία και σε άλλες εκκλησίες. Και εύχομαι ο κόσμος να ανταποκρίνεται σε αυτά τα. Ο σύνδεσμος ήβρε άλλους τρόπους να μπορεί να επιβιώσει με τα σεμινάρια και έχουμε 30 χρόνια που σημαίνει ότι κάτι κάνουμε σωστό για να αντέξουμε τόσα χρόνια και έρχομαι να αντέξουμε ακόμα 100 χρόνια. Αυτό οφείλεται στους σημερινούς ανθρώπους που εργάζονται και εύχομαι και η νεολαία να μας ακολουθήσει.
Οπότε τα ενδιαφέροντα θέματά σας από εδώ και μπρος ποια θα είναι στην πορεία, τι άλλο θα δούμε?
Όπως είπε και ο Κλέν, δεν υπάρχει αρκετό μεγάλο κονδύλι, αλλά υπάρχουν πολλά άλλα θέματα. Poor families, η μάστιγα της φτώχειας. Υπάρχουν πολλά παιδιά που πηγαίνουν σε σχολεία χωρίς να είναι κανονικά ντυμένα, αψηφούν το κρύο, διότι υπάρχει μια εκλογή τώρα. Η λιτότητα δεν είναι μόνο να με αγοράσω αυτό ή αυτό, είναι πηγαίνουν νηστικά το πρωί. Και ως σύνδεσμος και ως φορώντας άλλων καπέλων έχω προωθήσει όχι μόνο για food banks, αλλά και κοινοτικά τράπεζες ρουχισμού και για παιδιά. Έτσι υπάρχουν πολλά θέματα και σιγά σιγά, ναι, τουλάχιστον 1-2 το χρόνο, διότι αν και ήταν αυτό το σεμινάριο, είδατε το hall ήταν γεμάτο, θέλει αρκετή δουλειά να προωθηθεί αυτό. Ναι.
Θα το προωθήσουμε και εμείς όσο μπορούμε και ευχόμαστε καλή επιτυχία σε οτιδήποτε κάνετε από εδώ και μπρος σαν σύνδεσμο. Ευχαριστώ
το Hellenic TV, πάντοτε πρόθυμο να καλύψει τη δουλειά του Συνδέσμου Λευκαριτών και να δώσω χαιρετίσματα σε όλους και στο Γιώργο και σε όλους που μας στέκονται πάντοτε συμπαραστάτες. Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Είστε καλά, ευχαριστούμε.
Hi, we're going to be speaking to Glenn today and asking all about the physical activity and the benefits. So here we go, Glenn.
Hi, thanks very much. Okay, so for physical activity, I suppose at population level, the real problem is how little people are physically active. So, I suppose the real problem is how little physical activity people do nowadays. So, we have a load of labour-saving devices. We take the car to the shops, take the lift up the stairs. We have electric toothbrushes. We have electric razors. We don't do very much physical activity at all. I suppose for the population, why is that a problem? Well, really, it's a problem because the human body is designed to move. That's what we evolved to move quite a lot, actually. Whereas now we spend most of our time being quite sedentary. The effect that has on the body, I suppose, is similar to having a. I suppose you could make it analogous to having a very high-performance car and only never moving it. Eventually it will seize up. So, in terms of physical health, you have a 20 to 40% reduction in all long-term conditions, e.g. things like diabetes, heart failure, heart attack, kidney disease, dementia, mental health. All those conditions are affected by physical activity. That's for the individual. For the healthcare system, those long-term conditions I've just been talking about, they account for about 70% of the NHS budget. So if you could reduce the NHS budget by 15 to 20 billion, which is what those conditions account for, well, everyone would be a lot happier. So from the individual point of view and from the healthcare system point of view, if you're worried about the healthcare system, if you're worried about getting an appointment with your GP, do some physical activity.
Right, so there's all different types of exercise, and obviously for every different person it's going to be a different type of exercise. So how many times a week would you recommend to most people? With our guidelines, obviously, in the fitness industry, it'll vary a little bit more. But what would you suggest from the health type point of view?
Right, well, physical activity, the benefits accrue most to the people who are moving from no physical activity to some physical activity. So it's a sort of curve like that, and the benefits go. So getting someone who's very active to do a bit more isn't going to make that much difference to them. Getting someone who doesn't do anything to do something is going to be great. So the actual guidelines are for people under, well, for toddlers under 5, just any activity is good. From 5 to 18, it's to do an hour a day, and including that muscle building and strenuous exercise to build up your heart and lungs and muscles. From 19 to 64, it's to do 150 minutes a week and 2 days a week, body maintenance, if you like. And then 65 plus, it's as much as of the above as you possibly can. If you can't do it, just do as much as you can. But also in 65 plus, they recommend doing 2 days a week, coordination and balance as well, just to stop yourself toppling over.
Okay, and I always say, because I know a lot of people don't like going running or maybe cycling, which I know is like of your interest, but there's lots of people who obviously maybe in the more mature side who may not want to be able to or may not be able to. What do you think? Maybe something like ballroom dancing for them?
Oh, absolutely.
Or we could like maybe say something, if swimming is a nice gentle kind of exercise, but things like that to suit the different ages, wouldn't you say or their interests? Because like myself, I like dancing, maybe kickboxing, etc. But those are my interests.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time. But obviously they will keep me interested, motivated to keep going. Whereas for somebody else who's not interested in that, or like maybe like I don't like running, I would get fed up and give up quite easily. So it's really doing something that's of interest to people. Yeah. Would you agree?
Absolutely. You need to find something that you're interested in, or if you're not interested in it, something you can build into your everyday life. So a lot of people wouldn't say they're particularly interested in walking, but if you walk to the shops every day or walk to work, that builds it in. If you're going to do physical activity for interest, absolutely do something you're interested in, something you enjoy doing, that you're going to look forward to going to do, and that you'll build into, that you'll do every week because you want to go and do it. The trick is to find something that you can, and that will change over time as well. So, when I was younger, I used to sort of run a lot. Now I sort of cycle, and also I think people need to think, from a health point of view, how you build in the other things that perhaps you're not quite so interested in. So as you get older, your muscle mass starts to decline. Build in a bit of muscle building while you're there.
And also it speeds up their metabolism, doesn't it? It helps speed up the metabolism, which we have to remind them they can eat more as well.
Exactly. I was going to say the other thing about exercising is you can eat. And people do enjoy that. So, but the point isn't to sort of go to the gym and suddenly eat loads and loads. The point is to go to the gym and eat sensibly. That's what I'd recommend to everyone.
And eat the right foods, of course. Which is obviously the other thing that we want to get across to people, isn't it? So So as I suppose in sum, if you're not doing anything, do something. Take heed of what the recommendations are. Find something that you like doing and go and do it and enjoy it. Thank you very much, Klenn.
Thank you very much.
Melani's going to answer some questions for us on the healthy eating. So here we go. Melanie, can you tell us, first of all, the very, very basics on healthy eating? What would you recommend?
So it really is important to, as much as possible, eat whole foods, natural foods. So we're talking, whole grains, and we're talking vegetables and fruit and good quality meats and fish and all that sort of stuff. And as much as we can, avoiding that processed stuff, the refined carbohydrates, the sugars, the processed stuff with all the additives and these things, because they really are quite detrimental to our health.
On television, apart from all of that, on television we have a lot of confused signals, don't we, with all the good food, the over-processed food. So the balance, obviously, what is this getting across the children at the moment?
So you're right, you're absolutely right. There is a lot of mixed messages. There's a lot of advertising for the junk, but then there is also a lot of, there are a lot of initiatives trying to get people to eat their 5 a day and things like that. So both messages are out there, and it was really refreshing this evening to see some of the little kids who actually knew that sugar was bad and things like that. So the message is definitely getting out there. That we really do need to be reducing the sugar and upping our 5 a day and making sure we're eating good stuff. So there is a mixed message out there, but it was nice to see the little ones tonight actually were getting some of the good messages as well. So yeah.
And how can we improve it, i.e. like packing a picnic for our children? What can we do?
Absolutely. I think it does start with educating them, letting them know what's good, talking to them about the food, getting them involved in the preparation of food and getting kids excited about good food. Definitely setting an example and eating good food ourselves and really sort of starting to educate them about it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So thank you very much.
Pleasure.